Your phone is lying to you. Right now, sitting in your pocket or on your desk, it's doing the bare minimum, taking your taps, opening your apps, sending your messages, and you've accepted that. You've gotten used to it. But what if I told you that in just a matter of days, that same phone is going to transform into something you've never experienced before? Not an update, not a patch, not a few new wallpapers and a refreshed settings menu. I'm talking about a complete reimagination of what Android can be. And Google is calling it Android 17. This is the release that Android users have been waiting years for. And I don't say that lightly. Every year, tech channels say this is a big one. But Android 17 is genuinely different. The features coming with this update don't just change how your phone looks. They change how your phone thinks. They change how your phone protects you. They change how your phone communicates with the world around it. And some of what's coming is so far ahead of what we've had before, it's going to make everything before this update feel ancient. So buckle in, because by the time this video is over, you're going to understand exactly what Android 17 is, what it's doing to your device, and why this is the most important software moment Android has had in the last several years. Let's go. Let's start with the one thing Google has been building toward for a long time, and it's finally arriving in its most powerful form yet. Google has officially declared that Android is no longer just an operating system. With Android 17, it is becoming what they call an intelligence system. That's not marketing fluff. That's a direct shift in philosophy about what your phone is supposed to be. And the engine behind all of it is Gemini. Now you've heard of Gemini before. It's been rolling out slowly, doing smart things here and there. But with Android 17, Gemini is stepping into a completely different league. What Google has built is an AI that doesn't just answer your questions. It actually operates your phone on your behalf. We're talking about complex multi-step tasks that would normally require you to open multiple apps, type, search, scroll, and confirm. Gemini is now going to do all of that automatically. Here's a real example Google demonstrated. You tell Gemini to find your class syllabus in Gmail and add all the required textbooks to your shopping cart. Gemini goes into Gmail, finds the email, reads the syllabus, identifies each book, opens your shopping app, searches for each title, and adds them to your cart, while you do absolutely nothing. Another example, you have a grocery list saved in your Notes app. You long press the power button, tell Gemini what you want, and it creates an entire shopping cart with those items ready for delivery. No copying, no pasting, no switching between apps. One sentence from you, done. This is what Google means by an agent-style AI assistant. It's not a chatbot that gives you answers. It's a digital assistant that actually takes action inside your phone, and this capability, called Gemini Intelligence, is rolling out first on the Samsung Galaxy S26 series and the Google Pixel 10 series this summer. After that, it expands to watches, cars, and laptops later in 2026. So if you have one of those devices, you are about to experience your phone in a way that genuinely feels like science fiction. But here's what makes this even more significant. Gemini isn't just getting smarter, it's getting deeper into Android's core. The AI now has access to your real data, your actual apps, your real life, and it's using that to make decisions and take actions the way a real assistant would. Not a simulated version of one. An actual AI that understands context, reads documents, navigates apps, and completes tasks end-to-end. Google has basically handed your phone a brain. Now let's talk about something that sounds simple but is actually one of the most impactful things in this entire update. Have you ever tried to send a voice message or use voice to text and completely butchered it? You said 3 times, changed your mind halfway through, repeated yourself, and ended up with a transcript that made no sense? Every single one of us has been there, and for years, Android has done very little to fix it. Android 17 fixes it, completely. The feature is called Rambler, and it lives inside Gboard, Android's built-in keyboard. Rambler is a new and completely upgraded voice-to-text system that is built for how humans actually speak. Not how we wish we spoke, not how newsreaders speak, how we actually talk, with all the pauses, the ums, the repetitions, the mind changes, and the mid-sentence pivots. When you turn Rambler on, you can literally ramble. Say the same thing twice. Say like 5 times. Change your mind about what you're trying to say. Rambler listens to all of it, and then it converts your spoken thoughts into a clean, concise, properly structured message before you send it. It doesn't just transcribe what you said, it understands what you meant. And then it writes it in a way that actually makes sense. And here's something Google was very specific about. Your audio is used only for real-time transcription. It is not stored, it is not saved, it doesn't go anywhere after the transcription is done. That matters because the more powerful these AI features become, the more people worry about where their data goes. Rambler is powerful and private. It also works across multiple languages in a single message. So if you naturally switch Between languages when you talk, Rambler handles that too. This is one of those features that you don't realize you desperately needed until you use it once, and then you'll never want to go back. Now, here's where Android 17 gets visually exciting. Google has done something on the home screen that is going to make a lot of people incredibly happy. You can now create your own custom widgets without any coding, without any third-party apps, and without spending a single rupee. The feature is called Create My Widget, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You type a prompt describing what you want on your home screen, something like suggest 3 high-protein meal prep recipes every week, or show me current wind speed and rain conditions for cyclists, or give me a daily motivational quote at 7 a.m., and Android builds a fully functional live widget from your description and places it on your home screen. It actually works. It actually updates. It's actually yours. This is a feature that was practically impossible to do for regular users before. You either had to rely on whatever widgets developers chose to build for their apps, or you used a launcher app that gave you limited options. Now you can describe literally anything you want on your home screen, and Android will build it for you. That's a level of personalization that no Android version has ever offered before. And it's powered by AI, which means the more specific you are with your prompt, the better and more accurate the widget becomes. Think about what this opens up. Students who want a widget showing their assignment deadlines, fitness enthusiasts who want daily calorie summaries, travelers who want live exchange rates for 3 currencies at once, business owners who want a widget pulling their daily sales numbers. The possibilities are genuinely unlimited, and all of it happens from a simple text prompt on your own phone. Let's switch gears to something that has quietly become one of the biggest problems in the smartphone era: phone theft. It's rampant. It's fast. And in most cases, by the time you realize your phone is gone, someone has already changed your PIN, locked you out, and started accessing your accounts. Android 17 is going after this problem hard, and the new protections are some of the most aggressive anti-theft features ever built into a mobile operating system. First, Google is enhancing Find Hub, which is Android's device tracking system, with a powerful upgrade called Mark as Lost. When you activate it, your phone locks down instantly, and now for the first time, that lock can require biometric authentication, your fingerprint or your face, in addition to your PIN or passcode. Not either or, both. So even if a thief somehow knows your PIN, they still can't get in without your face or fingerprint. The moment Mark is Lost is triggered, Quick Settings disappears, so the thief can't turn off Wi-Fi or mobile data to hide the phone's location. New Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connections are also disabled, preventing the thief from pairing the phone with anything or jumping onto a new network to escape tracking. But that's just the start. Android 17 is also enabling theft detection lock and remote lock by default on all new Android 17 devices and on any device that gets reset or upgraded to Android 17. These features have existed before, but they were opt-in, meaning most people never turned them on. Now they're on automatically. Theft detection lock uses Google's AI to detect when your phone is suddenly grabbed and moved quickly, and it locks the screen immediately. Remote lock lets you lock your device from another device just by verifying your identity online. No app required. And then there's something brand new that is specifically designed to protect your money. Google has partnered with banks and financial institutions to build anti-spoofing call protection directly into Android 17. Here's how it works. If someone calls you pretending to be your bank, Android 17 automatically verifies in the background with your bank's official app whether that call is actually coming from a legitimate source. If it isn't, you get a warning. This is a direct attack on one of the most common phone scams in the world. And it's built right into the operating system. Not an app you have to download, not a subscription service, just Android protecting you automatically. These security features together represent a massive leap in how Android handles your safety. Theft, scams, unauthorized access. Android 17 is coming for all of it at the same time. Now let's talk about one of the most requested features in Android history, something users have been begging for since at least 2012. And it's finally coming back. Lock screen widgets, they're back. And this time they're not the clunky, barely functional ones from the early Android days. They're modern, they're dynamic, and they actually make your lock screen useful again. For years, iPhones got all the credit for having interactive lock screens with real live information. Android removed its lock screen widgets a long time ago and never brought them back. Android 17 changes that. You can now put real, functional live updating information directly on your lock screen, weather, reminders, calendar events, health data, and more, without unlocking the phone. Just glance at your screen and see what you need. It sounds like a small thing, but in daily use, it eliminates dozens of unnecessary unlocks throughout the day and makes your phone genuinely smarter to interact with. And speaking of making the phone smarter to use, Android 17 is also making a major move on multitasking. The new feature is called App Bubbles, and it's essentially bringing desktop-style multitasking to your Android device. Apps can now float as bubbles on your screen, and you can have multiple apps visible and active at the same time without being trapped in the standard split screen view. This works especially well on foldables, tablets, and large screen devices, but it also brings a new level of flexibility to regular phones. If you've ever wanted to watch a video while writing a note while checking a map, Android 17 makes that actually enjoyable instead of frustrating. Let's talk about the creator side of Android 17, because there's a lot here that is going to matter to a massive portion of users. Google has partnered with Instagram to bring deep native Android 17 integration to both the main Instagram app and the Edits app, and what they've built together is genuinely impressive. On the camera side, Instagram on Android 17 now supports Ultra HDR capture and playback. That means when you're recording or shooting through Instagram, the colors, contrast, and lighting in your content will be dramatically more vibrant and true to life, especially on supported high-end devices. There's also built-in video stabilization so your content doesn't shake, and night sight integration so your nighttime photography looks dramatically cleaner and sharper. For people using Instagram's Edits app, Android 17 unlocks exclusive features that aren't available anywhere else. First, there's AI-powered Smart Enhance. You can upscale the resolution of your photos and videos automatically, making older or lower quality content look significantly sharper. Then there's sound separation, which is a feature that content creators have been paying for in third-party apps for years. It analyzes your video's audio and removes wind noise, background noise, and unwanted music automatically, leaving you with clean, professional-sounding audio without touching a single slider. These creator tools aren't just for professional influencers. Regular users can use them too, and they're going to make the average Android user's content look and sound noticeably better. Now here's one that is going to affect the daily experience of millions of people who are stuck on their phones longer than they want to be. Google has always had digital well-being tools, but they've never really worked well enough to actually change behavior. Android 17 is trying something different, something with actual friction built into it. It's called Pause Point. When you turn on Pause Point for an app, say a social media app you're trying to use less, every time you open that app, you get a 10-second pause screen before you can enter it. During those 10 seconds, you have options. You can do a guided breathing exercise. You can set a timer for how long you want to spend in the app. You can look at a favorite photo you've set as your anchor. Or you can choose to open an alternative, like an audiobook instead of scrolling. That intentional 10-second pause is designed to break the autopilot habit of mindless app opening. And here's the part that makes it actually effective. Turning pause. Point off requires you to fully restart your phone. You can't just tap a toggle in a moment of weakness. Google has deliberately made it inconvenient to undo because that friction is the whole point. This is a real well-being tool with real behavioral design behind it. And it's one of the things in Android 17 that shows Google is thinking about not just how powerful your phone can be, but how healthy your relationship with it can be. Let's talk about something that has been years in the making and is finally arriving with Android 17, proper cross-platform file sharing between Android and iPhone. Android's Quick Share is now becoming compatible with Apple's AirDrop. This is one of those features that sounds obvious, but has taken an enormous amount of engineering and cooperation to actually pull off. Starting with Android 17, Quick Share AirDrop compatibility is rolling out to a wide range of devices: Samsung, OnePlus, Oppo, Vivo, Xiaomi, Honor, and more. Google began rolling this out on May 12th, and the intent is to reach all Android phones. But it goes even further. Android 17 includes a feature called Transfer to Android, and this one is specifically designed for people switching from iPhone to Android. You place your iPhone next to your Android phone, and it wirelessly transfers everything: photos, contacts, downloaded apps, and even the eSIM. Not a partial transfer, everything. For years, switching from iPhone to Android felt like starting from scratch. With Android 17, that barrier is gone. And then there's the thing that somehow feels both tiny and enormous at the same time. Google is finally redesigning Android's emojis. The existing ones have always looked flat and dated compared to iPhone emojis, and for years, that's been a genuine point of criticism. With Android 17, Google is introducing fully redesigned 3D emojis. They've only teased a few examples so far, and the full set hasn't been revealed yet. But what's been shown looks dramatically better. More expressive, more detailed, more alive. They'll start rolling out to Pixel devices later this year. It's a visual upgrade that touches every single conversation you have on your phone, every single day. So let's zoom out and look at the full picture for a moment. Because when you put all of this together, Android 17 isn't just a feature list, it's a statement. It's Google saying that Android is no longer playing catch-up with anyone, with Gemini Intelligence doing complex multi-step tasks autonomously, Rambler making voice communication actually natural, Create My Widget, giving users total home screen customization, Pause Point, bringing real behavioral design to digital well-being, anti-spoofing call protection, fighting financial scams at the OS level, theft detection lock and biometric mark as lost fighting phone theft in real time, and AirDrop compatibility, finally tearing down the wall between Android and iPhone. This is a complete overhaul of the experience from top to bottom. The stable release is rolling out to Pixel devices first, starting this month, June 2026. Pixel 6, Pixel 6 Pro, Pixel 6a, Pixel 7, Pixel 7 Pro, Pixel 7e, Pixel Fold, Pixel Tablet, Pixel 8, Pixel 8 Pro, Pixel 8a, Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL, Pixel 9 Pro Fold, Pixel 9a, Pixel 10, Pixel 10 Pro, Pixel 10 Pro XL, Pixel 10 Pro Fold, and Pixel 10a are all eligible. If you own any of these, your phone is about to get a lot smarter. For Samsung users, the Galaxy S26 series will be among the first non-Pixel devices to receive the update, with One UI 9 launching at Galaxy Unpacked in London on July 22, 2026. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 and Z Flip 8 are also launching with One UI 9 built in. OnePlus is running Android 17 Beta 2 on the OnePlus 15 already. Xiaomi launched its Android 17 developer preview on HyperOS 3.3 for the Xiaomi 17 and Xiaomi 17 Ultra in April. Third-party flagship rollouts across Samsung, OnePlus, Vivo, Honor, and Xiaomi are expected through Q3 and Q4 2026, with budget and entry-level devices following in early 2027. What Google has done with Android 17 is take everything people have ever wanted from a smartphone operating system and actually deliver it, not as a roadmap, not as a promise, not as a concept demo, as a real shipping product that is hitting real devices right now. The intelligence is real, the security is real, the customization is real, the cross-platform features are real. This is the Android update that changes the conversation, not just about what Android can do versus iOS, but about what a smartphone operating system is fundamentally supposed to be. Because for most of Android's history, the OS has been a platform that sits underneath your apps and makes them run. With Android 17 for the first time, the operating system itself is becoming the most intelligent, most useful, and most powerful thing on your phone. Your phone isn't lying to you anymore. With Android 17, it's finally telling you the truth about what it can do. And what it can do is everything.